And welcome to Interfaith Spiritual Center Worldwide, where we really open the space for this divine appointment, where we acknowledge together that nothing happens by chance, that everything is this amazing energy that we call in. So, as I welcome you this morning, and for our viewing audience, we just danced to a happy day, and we're feeling really good, aren't we? And I know Mel would have loved it, and I really feel Mel's energy with us today, and how gracefully he left the planet. And energetically, we know the veil is very, very thin, and that there is one life. That life is God's life, and that life is our life now. And when we open this space, when we acknowledge together that we are here, that when Tesla said that if you want to know the secrets of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. That when we think in these terms, that it's not about personalities. We are lifted from the pettiness of life. We are lifted from the littleness of life. And suddenly we realize everything is energy. And through this energy, we live and move and have our being. So this morning, my talk is, my daily life is my temple and my religion. That everything becomes sacred. Even, it's so amazing, the profane becomes sacred because we spiritualize it within ourselves. We acknowledge that when Gibran talked about that our daily life is our temple and our religion, it's not a window to be opened and then shut again. That every single thing in our lives is part of this energy, this sacredness, this holiness. And when the indigenous people talk about the sacred hoop and stepping into that sacred hoop, ever expanding, imperceptibly small at first, then reaching outward toward infinity, because life is an ever-evolving circle. So today, as we look at our daily life is our temple and our religion, that what we do in necessity or what we do for delight is all part of it. And it's interesting, I was reading an article by Carolyn Mays, and she was talking about one of her students named Danny who discovered that he had prostate cancer. And she said that he was in a sales job that he didn't at all relate to. That his dream was to be out in the country with acreage, doing green organic plantings and farming. This had always been his dream. But they had quite a wonderful lifestyle. And he had it set up that you cannot do what you love and love what you do and get paid for it. How many of us, we've had it set up that way? But interestingly enough, he went to his family and he said, "This has been my dream." And his family acknowledged that they'd rather have him on the planet living his dream with them than moving off through prostate cancer. So he sold up, he quit, he took an early retirement, went out into this amazing country and began green organic gardening, and is one of the biggest companies that sells to Whole Foods today. So energetically, when we put the works with the faith, and we put our action with the intention, that passion is going to see it through. In Palm Springs right now, we're having the aviation convention. Roads are closed. Thursday night, we went to a wonderful, wonderful opening at Leslie's Art Gallery in Cathedral City, and the whole theme was aviation, and some amazing, Rebecca Pica's husband, her husband Mario, did these amazing sculptures where he takes tin cans and stuff people throw away at the junk roads. He repurposes them, and he makes like amazing sculptures with propellers and energy. It's just fantastic. And I said, I was in the airlines. And people said, "You were?" And I said, "Yes, after 2 years of college, I decided I wanted to travel. So I had my mother take me down to the International Los Angeles Airport, and we went from absolutely every airline company that you can think of that aren't even in existence today. We went to Eastern and Continental, and we went to American, and we went, all of these airlines. And they always asked you two questions. And the two questions are, why do you want to be an airline stewardess? Now, in those days, you could not even be married. Why do you want to be an airline stewardess? And I said, well, I love people. And then they'd say, and why else? And I love to travel. Where have you been? Nowhere. But I know I do. I love to travel. And so airline after airline, it was like taking all day. And finally, the last one was United. And we went in, and it was just so interesting because the gentleman, he looked kind of like an old movie star with, he kind of bronze look about him. And he was, to me, I was 20. He was probably 50-something, looked really old. And I went in, and he said, well, now, dear, why do you want to be an airline stewardess? I said, oh, I love people. And I could see him just glaze over. It's like, I've heard it. Oh, my God, do I have to sit through this one? And why else, dear? And I said, I love to travel. And where have you been? Nowhere, but I know I love to travel. And so he said, okay, every single airline say, oh, you're so pretty, and, we send out a letter, and you'll get a letter in a few weeks. Every single airline. So he went into his routine. Oh, you're so pretty, and we send out a letter of acceptance, and, I think your chances are right up there. And, he just hardly wait to get me out of the door. He was doing this. And, oh yeah, he was doing that. So as I got up, I thought, well, sir, there is one other reason. And he went, oh, what is that, dear? And I said, to bag me a man. And he said, oh, my God, you are the first honest woman I have ever met. Hire her. Get her weighed in. She's hired. So we got back to Chicago. And everybody's saying, how long did it take you to get your envelope of acceptance? Oh, 4 weeks. I thought I'd never get 3 weeks. And you, 2 weeks. And they looked at me. I said, oh, about 3 minutes. And I told them the story, and they could not believe that I said that. And I said, I had nothing to lose. I'd been from airline to airline to airline to airline. And I just thought, I better just tell the truth. Right? And what I discovered at 20 years old, that the truth was the greatest shortcut. I mean, it went through all of it. Just lasers through everything. And when you laser through everything and you get to the heart of the matter of life, it opens. It opens in miraculous, miraculous ways. So I was telling that story, to everybody at the art gallery and how I flew for 3 months and met my husband. And so, once you meet someone and you get married, you cannot fly. And those were interesting. One woman, she said, this is a violation of my civil rights. So she took the airlines to court. She won. And, to this day, energetically, people can be married and be in the airlines. They don't have to weigh you in. We kind of know that, don't we? And, the nail check and all of that. But interestingly enough, it was such an amazing experience because we have these experiences that lead us through life. And when we recognize that everything we do is spiritual, everyone we touch is spiritual, everyone in our energy field is part of this divine drama that we call life. And that if we want to cut through the negative, and I just feel there's just so much negative drama on the planet, we have to just turn it off. The Buddhists call it non-attachment. People say, well, that's very cold. But it isn't cold to turn off the energy of negativity and keep our heart open for compassion. That's the difference. Our heart becomes open to compassion and to love. But I'm not going to jump in the pit with you. I'm going to give you a hand up. And that is true caring. Because we know that there is a sympathetic vibration in the universe that attracts a lot of negativity. Emerson said, show me your friends and I'll tell you who you are. Show me your friends. Show me the energy that you gather round you, and I will tell you who you are. So when we gather those energies that vibrate at a very high frequency, and we get it that it's about energy, everything shifts for us. Everything opens for us in just absolutely amazing ways. One of our students in class had been looking for a job for 1 whole year. In our classes, we mastermind. And in the mastermind, we say, I know the mastermind has heard you and given you what you've asked for. And they say, thank you, I accept. For 1 year, she was looking for a job. Within 2 weeks of class, she applied. She came to help me with some things in the office and books that I want to donate to the Palm Springs Library. And she received the call from the person that she really wanted to work for. And she's a paralegal. She wanted to work for this certain attorney. And she received the call. She was elated. And I said, and don't you say I can't believe it. Because what happens? We neutralize our good the minute we say, oh, I can't believe it. Say, thank you, God. That which I am looking for, I'm looking with. And that we step into our new estate with such an attitude of gratitude. Our theme for the month is the blessing of divine grace. I think every conscious breath is a blessing of divine grace. That every time we open our hearts and our minds and our energy field, and I say this every day, I accept my good and my unexpected good. The mystical, the magical, and the miraculous go before me and prepare the way with ease and grace. Now, the ease and grace is really important because we want it to be with ease and a sense of grace and the sense of knowingness. That we are worthy to do what we love and love what we do and get paid for it. And when we open that space, when we acknowledge to the universe that I am worthy, I am worthy, I am valuable. When we make that declaration to the universe says, yes, you are. And here's the demonstration, the manifestation that you've been looking for. Our daily life is our temple and our religion. And one woman said that she had had 3 jobs within 3 months and she was fired. And then she went within and said, what's this really about? And she realized that it didn't make her heart sing, that she was doing it for the money. And she wanted to do something else, but felt like she had to do this over here for the money so that she could do this over here at a later time, and discovered that she really could do what made her heart sing. And when she really looked at it and looked through her behavior of accepting something that she wasn't going to benefit her employers because her heart was not in it. So when we put the works with the faith and the action with intention, when we realize that there is a ground of being here, Dr. Holmes in the Science of Mind textbook said, never limit your view of life by any past experience. And, we keep looking, all the things that happen back here. But today's the new day, the open moment. And the point of power is always where? In this moment. So today, as we acknowledge our daily life and our goings and our comings and the opportunity that we have to make a difference for ourselves and others by every thought that we think. Every conscious thought is such a gift. And Jung talked about the collective consciousness. And I believe that we can tip the scales in favor of spirituality by the collective consciousness. And there is a collective unconsciousness that just kind of led around and hypnotize. That's why, people like Reverend Jeffrey Jowett with his book on the power of I am can get people in touch with the energy of their chakras. Remember that a chakra is a wheel of spinning energy in a clockwise fashion. Get them aligned so that they can be in the world but not of it. And when we are in the world, we are in the world. We're doing transactions, we've got relationships, we are here. And we know we have a secret. We're of a higher spiritual vibratory frequency. And that's why people want to be with you. That's why they want what you have. One guy that comes in from Washington, D.C. met Alice at Starbucks and said there was something about her, and so he asked her to sit with him, and that she told him all about our spiritual center. People want to be in the light and the energy of joy, which is the most infallible sign of the presence of God. Do we always feel up and energetic? No. Then, I just tell myself, and I tell my body temple, it's time to rest. It's time to regenerate. It's time to go within, rather than many other things that we say in the outer realm that, of programming ourselves that we're just so exhausted. And energetically, we go to a lower frequency. And finally, we have to just lay down because we're so exhausted. And then dis-ease. That's an invitation for dis-ease. But when we say, I'm going to lay down and regenerate, I'm going to recreate my energy, I'm going to rest this body temple, then at a DNA cellular level, that's what happens. We regenerate, we recreate, and we rest so that we can be in the world, but of a higher spiritual vibratory frequency. And when we understand, really, the truth is the greatest shortcut. And that we don't have to be anyone other than who we are. And what I love about our way of life, it's just like Fleet was sharing with me that everyone said, oh, you're just such an overnight success. They didn't see the last 30 years, of doing what you need to do to get what where you need to go to be the star of a show on Friday nights. So it's really interesting how that happens. And our willingness to move through the contractions in life and not think that, oh gosh, I've just worked so hard and I've done so much and I'm not getting any results. Well, you can be discouraged, but then get off it. Set the egg timer for 2 minutes and then just get off it. Right. Just when it rings, just, okay, I did that. Little pity party over. Right? You may even call somebody and they'll agree with you. Hang up. And just be about your Father, Mother, God's business. Because my daily life is my temple and my religion. And I'm going to open it to allow God to do what God does best by means of me. And when I get it at that level, miracles. I'm now the space of miracles. I'm receiving the calls that I need to receive. I'm receiving the offers that I need to receive. I'm experiencing the relationships that are going to allow me to be all that I can. And not just looking for a job for 1 year, but sitting down and saying, I know the mastermind has heard you and given you what you've asked for, and saying, thank you, I accept. I accept my good and my unexpected good here and now, because I know my daily life is my temple and religion, and the blessing of divine grace is upon me. So with that being said, I bless you all for being here this morning. I want you to know that I am profoundly moved, that I love you, and that I wouldn't be in any other way of life, because where are we going? Higher yet. Where? Higher yet. Where? Higher yet. And so it is. God bless you.